Hi, and welcome to Astrology and Earth Magic. I'm Jennifer, and I am here to provide you with some witchy wisdom as we get ready to celebrate Beltane or May Day. So, Beltane is the fourth Sabbat on the Wiccan Wheel of the Year. It takes place beginning April 30th through May 1st. Beltane translates to bright fire, and there are other ways to pronounce Beltane. That's how I'm gonna say it. It's the easiest way for me. But it translates to bright fire and is one of the four fire sabbats or greater sabbats on the Wiccan wheel. It's also new. They also are known as cross quarter days, and that is because they fall in between the equinoxes and the solstices. So Beltane, for instance, comes between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, and it's on the day actually in between. So the other fire sabbats or cross quarter days are Imbolc, Lammas, and Samhain. And this one's directly opposite Samhain. So the lesser sabbats and the ones taking place on the solstices and on the equinoxes are Yule, Ostara, Litha, and Mabon. So as with any of the fire festivals, bonfires play a key role in the festivities, and visually these are the most pagan and I would say witchy kind of celebrations. So Beltane and Samhain in particular, these are at the time of the year opposite. One's greeting the sun and one's almost saying goodbye to the sun. And this is when the veil between our world and the spirit world is the thinnest. So, and it's the best time to communicate with those that have passed before us. So if you're into seances or anything like that, now would be the best time to do it. So the Wiccan wheel, I also look at as phases of the moon, and Beltane would be the waxing gibbous phase. So it's the last phase before the full moon, which is the summer solstice. So, and that's the climax really. And so the waxing gibbous phase is about finding balance and forward momentum, progressing towards a goal, and you have patience and perseverance. So you're giving it your all. You figured out what's working and you made adjustments to what wasn't working, and kind of leaving what's not working behind. So this is kind of what this festival is all about, a lot about balance. So here we find balance, and it's a balance of light and dark, of masculine and feminine, of sexuality and fertility. So we'll see how this all prominently figures out in the Beltane celebration. So traditionally, celebrations begin on April 31st, and you have two bonfires. We only have one here, and it's not that big because we have kind of a wind thing going on, so we don't want to set the whole woods on fire. But so cattle and other animals were taken out of the barn at this time and led through the center of the two fires. So the smoke would ritualistically cleanse them. It would rid them of whatever bugs got on them from being in the barn so long, and it also blesses them with fertility and preventing disease. So that smoke really can help. Now, I would love to have had two cows walk by my fire so that you could get smoke all over them. Is it for lack of trying, of course, because maybe next year I can talk my husband into getting maybe one or two highlands, maybe mini highlands, and we can walk them through, but I won't hold my breath. So back in the day, people in the village would bring torches. That they put their lights out at home, they'd put their hearth fires out at home, and they would bring torches to set a light with the bonfire flame, and they would carry these back to their homes and light their own hearth fires. So after the fires burned out, and you can already see ours is going down a little bit, the ashes would be sprinkled in the fields to promote growth for an abundant harvest. So I'm definitely going to try that in my garden because it's not been doing too well. So I'll try anything. So to celebrate at home, you can light your own bonfire like we did today, and just let the smoke kind of ritualistically envelop you and cleanse you, kind of like usually you're running away from the smoke, and whenever you're sitting outside by a bonfire, the smoke comes after. I'm always the one that gets the smoke like directly at. Well, this time you're gonna embrace it, because it's gonna just cleanse you and just get rid of old and protect from disease. So another great thing that you can do with the fire is just spring cleanup. It's spring. So I've been going around the yard. We've been throwing things into the fire. Again, we couldn't do a big one today, but just, throw old sticks and bark. And so you're doing a spring cleanse. So it's cleansing in lots of different ways. So you can even, get this all going. And then if you don't have the ability to have a fire like we do, you can take it inside. Now, if you don't have the space outside to have a large bonfire, you can still celebrate symbolically inside with sage, maybe candles, or any incense that you really feel connected with. So you can even make your own incense with loose herbs, with resins, or even woods. And that really, whatever you want to put together with it will match whatever your intentions are for the season. So if it's grounding, if it's thought-provoking, whatever you're feeling. So you let the smoke just swirl around, cleansing the air and just enveloping you with its beautiful scent. So you want to set your altar up with some nature inspired. So we have some budding leaves right here. Yellow is a very big color for Beltane because it symbolizes the sun and the sun coming back. See branches, and you want to have, if you have candles, you want to have the yellow for the sun, you want to have red for that fiery hot passion of the season, and you want to have green for abundance. So you want to also, you can adorn your doorways. Wreaths are nice, people have them up, but you can also just go around the whole outside with different sorry, my cat. So with some different flowers, again, particularly yellow is the kind of color of the season and a really popular one for this time of year. So, marigolds, daffodils are really sprouting up around this time of year. Whatever's blooming is what you can use. Again, yellow is a big theme of Beltane because it represents the sun. Also red representing passion and sexuality. And that is that balance, that masculine and feminine that Beltane really has a lot to do with. And green for growth and abundance, of course. So some of my favorite things. So Beltane honors the sun, and it brings warmth and it brings passion. It really stimulates sexuality. That's why that male and female is really big in the Beltane celebration. The warmer weather, the more vitamin D, maybe even just having less clothes on is really stimulating. And so it's that balance of, that male and female sexuality. And it's really the most sexualized of all the Sabbats. And it's when it's at its peak. And this is when, you always hear about the spring is when the animals start reproducing. And so if you, one of the main symbols of the season, and especially of May Day in particular, is the maypole. So that it's a large kind of phallic pole shoved into the ground, blooming, you can decorate it with blooming flowers that are opening up, and with ribbons, and women just dance around it. So it's a very, kind of sexually, kind of like a, I would say like a mating ritual almost. Kind of has a whole phallic thing about it. You can even make your own little maypole and you can add it to your altar. I had one outside, so you'll see when we go back out in the background, we had one. So it's just, again, Find a really cool stick. Could be something little if you're gonna have it inside, could be something larger if you're gonna have it outside and you actually wanna have people dance around it. Adorn it with long ribbons, and women just will go around and they'll do their dance. And dancing is a big part of this holiday. Dancing around the fire, just having fun, and just really experiencing it and enjoying yourself. Again, this is probably one of the most fun, I would say, of any of, and the most pagan of any of these rituals that take place around the Wiccan wheel, because we are getting outside. It's like you're becoming free again. You're opening yourself up and you're getting outside and enjoying life and enjoying the return of nature. So now Beltane is really the only time that we celebrate a masculine figure, because normally it is the more feminine figure. So we find that masculinity in Beltane with the Green Man, or the Oak King. So he is the connection between humanity and nature, and he is the spirit of the wildwood. He wakes from slumber and awakens the nature's life force as well. So he brings the forest and he brings the world back to life. So he's depicted with normally horns and a face framed with framed or covered in foliage, acorns, leaves, that kind of thing. He's the guardian of the forest, pretty much. He's the embodiment of the untamed male virility. And I remember a while back, it was really popular, and you'd see the Green Man on everyone's trees. People had it, it was a thing. And I don't think a lot of them knew the pagan symbolism of it, but I thought it was a lot of fun anyway. So a lot of people just embrace that he's bringing back. I hope my fire's okay. So what is the masculine king, though, without our feminine queen, our May Queen? The May Queen is the princess of the fairies, and she is the embodiment of love and beauty. So you see there we have the Oak King, or the Green Man, being that masculine and balances out with the feminine that is the May Queen. The May Queen was normally chosen. She was the most beautiful girl in the village, and kind of like the pagan Miss America. So in many traditions, they would ceremoniously marry the Green Man and the May Queen. So I would like to introduce to everyone our lovely May Queen, and she won't be marrying the Green Man. She's a little bit young, but here she is waving to her adoring public. Adorable. I have a feeling she's going to win every year. So as the fires burn, and after the May Queen is crowned, and after we have our celebration, we can celebrate with a feast. So popular foods for this time are bannocks, and they are made with oats and butter. Now, butter is a big role in this time as well. So cows are producing a lot, probably 3 times as much milk at this time, and it's the best time for making butter, and supposedly the butter is the most delicious that you get out of this time of year. I made some delicious cardamom swirl bread with some marjoram butter, and it was phenomenal. So I'll have a picture at the end of this. And I also made some of the cutest, colorful deviled eggs also. So, just let your imagination, now's the time to be creative, bring color in, because things are coming back to life. Things aren't so gray anymore. We're bringing color back into the world. But you don't want to party too hard, because on the morning of May 1st, you want to get up early. Pre-dawn, you want to find the biggest oak tree, the biggest, strongest oak tree, one that's doing really well, and just wash your face with the dew that's underneath, that morning dew, and that will keep you young and youthful and vibrant throughout the year. So definitely going to try that one as well. So this year, the exact day of the equinox, solstice midpoint, is actually May 5th. So you'll have even longer to celebrate. if for some reason you can't get up that early. So that is about all. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe and leave your comments. How are you going to celebrate? What are you looking forward to with this new? And all this really just helps the channel grow. And I hope you all have a blessed Beltane. So now, our little May Queen, please take a bow, and I'll see you soon.